Wednesday, September 3rd, 2020. I haven't done an episode where I add my set into the podcast, and I know that I think it was Johnny Gold that said that he really liked that. I think people seem to like when I do that, so I might do that tonight, which would burn material, but whatever, no one gives a shit. So tonight, my whole goal wasn't to focus on first person or third person. It wasn't. I already wrote out jokes. I knew what I was gonna say. It was just be present. Sorry, people are driving like fucking maniacs. Oh, thanks. Sorry. Okay. Fuck. What was I saying? Yeah, being present. Being present. That's what I did tonight. I was just. And there were points where I wasn't, and I had to like focus back in on it. But for the most part, tonight my whole goal was just be present, just be aware of the moment that you're living in. Even before my set, I was thinking about like, oh, what's gonna happen or whatever, and I was getting in my head. And I think I do that before sets too. Like I try to think like, all right, what am I gonna do for my set? And it's like, well, I have the notebook there. I can just look at the notebook and I know what the jokes are. So I decided to just listen to William Henderson's set, which tonight was actually very good. That sounded super condescending. Wow. Oh, Will actually, he got a laugh or two. Good job, Buckaroo. Good job, sport. No, his set was really solid today. There's a new joke he did that I really liked, like the way his timing was with it. But what was I saying? Yeah, so staying present. I think that the whole idea of first person and third person, like, I think it was a good stepping stone to this place. Like it helped me put into context where I am now, in the same way that all of the different advice that KJ's given over, has it been multiple years now? No, anyway, like, I would say that first person and third person has now been upgraded to just be present. In the same way that when I was trying to figure out how to like riff from KJ, it's the first bit of advice he gave me was it's like the idea or premise, you're planting a seed in the ground, and then the tree trunk comes up, and then it branches out into other ideas. And I understood what he was saying, kind of, but it didn't really click. And then a couple months down the road, he worded it as like, you got to paint a picture for the audience. And then I was still like, it still didn't really click. And then after that, he said, you got to know what your point is. Still didn't really click. I think he gave me one other bit of advice. Can't remember what it was. But then one day he said, you got to use your imagination. And then all of those other bits, bits of advice that he gave just kind of clicked. It was like, oh, okay, so if I do all of that and I use my imagination, I think I get it. And so for a long time, since he said that, I feel like I've understood the concept. But it's the putting it into practice. It's like going on stage and actually doing it has been difficult. And I think a big part of that was just not being present. So, yeah, so I'm going to mix. Yeah, so this is making sense. Jesus. Yeah, so I think that's the new goal right now. That's the new goal for just day-to-day life, because I'm exhausted from life. Oh, fuck, was I supposed to turn right there? Nah, if I'm going to Blaze Pizza, it's not necessary. Yeah. So I think I have a new plan that I'm gonna do, and also the ACMM is only gonna be once a week now. Now that we have other podcasts to fill up these other slots. So I think what I'm gonna do is just throughout the week, when I get inspiration or whatever, when I need to record, I'll record, and then I'll just pile them all together at the end of the week. And I don't know if this week I'm gonna do the audio breakdown of the set. I don't know if anyone's listening and you like it when I break down my sets and what I'm thinking. just let me know and I can do that. Otherwise, I won't waste your time with it. All right, I think that's about it. So no, it's a whole thing. You all right? All right. You all right? All right. You all right? Yes. Fucking yeah. If you know people that would enjoy my insane ramblings, share this with them. Share with as many people as possible. I got my TikTok back again, so I'm trying to get on my social media game. I'm trying to improve all of this while I continue to improve as a comic. And I still have my GoFundMe up there for trying to get an RV. So if you check my Instagram, the link for that is there. And I think that's about it for now. All right. September 26, 2020. If anybody's concerned about my phone going off, don't worry. Put it on silent. Am I proud of myself? Yes, I am. Do I have to give my own self-love and support? Yes, I do. All right, so I just did a street set in Uplands, and it went well. Zero came out. Shouts out to Zero Ribson. Zero came out and got to see. It's nice when other comics I know get to see what I'm doing out there, because I'm sure it comes off as really crazy. But if you talk to like Nick or Johnny or Zero, or I think Marcus Griffin has seen it too. If you talk to them about it, they can give context as to what it's like, that I'm not just out there fucking acting crazy. Oh, well, I am out there acting kind of crazy, but regardless. One of the things I've been doing is just being present. Been working on the whole meditation thing. And it's interesting. So the set was really good. I'm home now. And the whole guided meditation thing, there's a consistent thing where it says, like, when a negative thought comes in your head, you try to observe it objectively or whatever, outside of yourself, and understand that it's gonna eventually pass. Like that, the thought will not be there forever. That's not possible. And you gotta look at it kind of like a wave going in and out. And so you let the wave come in, the wave hits you, and then you just immediately let go of the wave. But then, I'm doing the little meditation guided thing, and then the nice Indian lady says, all right, and then if a positive thought comes in or something good happens, you have to treat it the exact same way. Of like, it comes in, just like a wave, and then you let it go. And that's so fucking hard to do. Like, right now I'm like, oh, I had a great set. I needed to hog tie the wave and hold it down. I need to bottle the wave up in a little jar and put it on the desk, so that anytime I feel sad, I can look at the wave move. And it's like, that's not how it works. And so yeah, it's a weird of like, being present. I'm here presently speaking to you. Technically, when you listen to this, it won't be the present. I'm doing that think about it meme right now. But I'm trying to stay present, for lack of a better word. And that's just a weird part of it that I guess that's something I've been doing for a very long time. Is anytime something good happens, I like grab onto it. I'm like, all right, you stay here. You're my little hostage. Stay in my basement. You can't leave my basement. This is my happy basement. That's what I do to anything that is like good in my life. So that's what I'm gonna work on. Except that the set was fun. It was good. And workout material. Tomorrow I'm doing a me day. I don't have money to go to a spa, so I'm going to have to go to the grocery store and chop up cucumbers and get guacamole paste, and then put that on my face, and then put on the Goonies, because I've seen it enough times to where all I got to do is hear the Goonies, and I can basically picture what's going on. And that's my day tomorrow, is just do whatever the fuck I feel like alone and work on material, probably, write more jokes. Yeah, that's about it. All right. Okay, I'm making a week compilation rather than making them all separate thing. So yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna have a new vibe to it. But I guess so. Should I repeat? I shouldn't repeat the whole advertisement thing because then it's gonna happen like every you don't listen to my podcast. All right. All right, communication. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So I'm not gonna do the I'm gonna advertise the thing at the very end. I guess get the end of the week since I'm editing all this together. All right. Oh, I made a TikTok, so go to that. It's just Aaliyah, basically. All right. Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. Um, all right, another one of those look up a YouTube video thing. It's 20 minutes and 24 seconds long, so I assume you're not going to listen to all of it or watch all of it. Whoever you are, it always feels like I'm Tom Hanks in Castaway, and I'm just writing random notes into a little bottle, and I'm just throwing it out to the ocean for a sea turtle to grab and then choke on. You're the sea turtle in this metaphor. All right, so there's this channel called Quality Culture, and they have this video they came out with called the Gentle Principles of Hey Arnold video essay. It's from like 2019. So I was about to say that's old, but that's not really that old when you think about it. I guess given the context of the way the world is now, it feels like 20 years ago. But regardless, it is talking about something that's 20 years old, if not older. Hey Arnold. So I'd say a consistent theme amongst my podcast is watching YouTube videos and analysis essays that kind of put into perspective the energy that I'm going for, or the artistic, pretentious behavior that I exhibit on this podcast. I'd say the fact that I even use the word exhibit genuinely feeds into the pretension. But the way they talk about Hey Arnold, at least 4 minutes and 14 seconds in, I haven't finished it yet, but the way they talk about Hey Arnold in this video is another kind of facet of what I want to do through stand-up, or I guess what I'm going for. As of recent, I started writing about more mundane things, so I'm gonna balance out my big ideas and my extreme emotional thought with something a little more mundane, kind of in connection to this video. And it's a good little pivot. I think it's good to continue to stretch out the skills that I have. And I know I've said this multiple times, but I feel like sometimes I do stand-up comedy backwards. So like I put hyper focus on big ideas and emotional depth and so on and so forth, and very little focus on just kind of being funny and being silly. And so now that I'm shifting more into that, I think because I kind of did the harder thing first, that this is going to become easier now. At least that's my theory. But in watching this, talking about Miyazaki, and I think the quote was something about like the creator is worried that the audience is going to get bored, and that they feel the need to plaster every moment with these big, grand things and these big emotional crescendos. The emotional crescendo is not how I would describe what comics are going for at the Hideaway, but going for big laughs. Obviously, it's a smart move. It's why I would say most comics in general are not perceived as I guess irritating as much as I can be perceived as, or frustrating, or confusing, pretentious, snobby, stuck up, so on and so forth. Like, I definitely get when you're going for something that is fun, consistently fun, that's more likable. I understand that. Like that's not lost on me. And I understand that I can, even from the beginning, I could have talked about sillier topics. I could have not been as emotional about it on stage, but I mean, the idea is being authentically you, then that's kind of what I'm doing. And so, with the whole meditation thing and trying to be present stuff, I would say that it does make my day-to-day experiences a lot more calm for the most part. Like I still get, me. I still get me, but I would say it's like a calmer me, I suppose. At least for now, until something new uproots my life. I haven't been watching the debates, by the way. I'm not doing that shit. I am not gonna. That you might as well go into an old folks' home and sit and watch two dudes play fucking checkers and talk shit. That's like I got my manager sent me. Come on, Leah. Leah, what the fuck? All right. My manager sent me a 3-minute clip of it, and she was basically like, if you want to know what the debate is, here's a summary of it. And it was just two old men bickering. So fucking absurd. But what was I saying? So this video, Miyazaki? I don't know. Miyazaki sounds like more Japanese in my head. Miyazaki. Yeah, regardless. The fucking dude that draws pretty anime. I think there's a weird respect for the audience that comes with that. This mentality that this guy seems to have. And that's actually how I feel about what my goal is. In a weird way, even though it seems like I'm talking down to people in many ways, I think, or at least that's how it kind of comes off to people. The irony is, at least from my perspective, I'm kind of talking up to them. I'm of the belief that the audience isn't as dumb as we perceive them to be. Or as, how do I put it? I think people can handle somberness within comedy. Like, I don't know, who's a fucking comic that does that well. Not even somberness. All right. Oh, fuck me. Okay. Christopher Titus. Christopher Titus, I think, is a really good example. Christopher Titus, Doug Stanhope, those two guys. Really good examples of treating the audience with intelligence, but treating the audience as people that are critical thinking, or assuming that they are critical thinking human beings. And being the willingness to, like, challenge preconceived notions or challenge the idea that the average comedy audience can't handle moments where they're not just laughing, or where it's not like, I don't want to say surface level, because that is not, it's not the right way to describe it, but for lack of a better word right now, surface level. Like, I think the audience, I don't know, I think the audience deserves respect. Especially now, post-COVID, like, y'all don't need to be there. You have no obligation to listen to this. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I'd be blown away that you are listening to this, whoever you are who's finding this in the middle of the ocean. Yeah. That's kind of we're watching this, if you want kind of another sense into how I view things, or why I write the way I do, is watching this kind of puts that into perspective of like, it's more that it's not that I'm talking down to people. I don't think I am. It's that I think that people are more critically thinking than they let on, or at least that's my assumption. I could be wrong, and in many ways have been proven wrong on the street. But I don't know. I think that the audience deserves respect, and that you should put in as much effort as possible to challenge them. Like, when you, at least for me, when I look back on comedy history or whatever, it's the people that didn't placate to easy sensibilities that are legends to me. Like, I already talked about Lenny Bruce at length. But that's a dude who, like, from my knowledge of the history of that point, challenged things in such a way that was completely out of the norm. And comedy is now better for it. And I think that's a good thing. George Carlin doesn't really even need to be, what do you even say at that point that hasn't already been said in terms of preconceived notions. Chris Rock's another one of those guys who, like, I think he's legend status because he challenges, has always challenged the way people see things. It just, anytime when I listen, who else? Chris Rock, Cat Williams, I'm not, the other dude that I talk about, I'm not even feel like fucking saying his name right now. Those are guys that, like, when you listen to them, Stanhope, Titus, Ricky Gervais, Louis C.K., like, when you listen to those guys, Gerard Carmichael, when you listen to those guys, there's this feeling of I don't know, respect. Like, I feel like they're respecting my time. Like, they're respecting my time. They're respecting the fact that I'm sitting down and listening. Like, they put fucking effort into it. You never feel, with any of those comics, at least for me, when I watch their stuff, it never feels half-assed. It never feels like slapdash. Like, at any point, Bill Burr, how the fuck? Oh, Jesus. How the fuck did I even forget Bill Burr? Like, when you listen to that, when you listen to Paper Tiger, you're never like, it feels like he's really thought about this. Like, he's not bullshitting me right now. Whereas sometimes I listen to comedy and I feel like I'm being Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham's another one. I feel like sometimes I listen to comedy and I feel like obvious that, like, when I listen to jokes, I'm like, it's funny. I get why that's funny. I understand. It's funny. I'm laughing. It's great. It's funny. But it feels so transparent. It feels like definitely not. It's not pulling punches. Not even a little bit. It's more like low-hanging fruit. I don't know if low-hanging fruit's it. Regardless, my mentality about this has always been like, well, what do I enjoy? And I recognize that I don't present it in the most confident fashion. And so, I'm still working on that. And I think the more confidently I present this information, the more it'll be taken, or the better it'll be taken. But, Rome wasn't built in a day. But it just feels like there's fucking effort put into it. And I have respect for effort being put into something. And that's what I want. I want to put effort into it. I want I want whatever I present, good or bad, to be engaging. And I think at this point, in a weird way, I've definitely succeeded in that, even when I bomb at Joe Beltran's mic. Shouts out to Joe Beltran. Thank you for putting those on. Even when I'm there and it feels like people are getting dour. Oh, it's getting fucking sad. It's got a little rainy cloud. As soon as I walk on stage, is like that slab of wood that we stand on gets wet. And the light fucking short circuits from all this little rainy droplets coming on as soon as I get on stage. Like, I recognize all of that. It has like this tone of when like Charlie Brown tries to kick the football and Lucy pulls the fucking football under. Like, it has that tone. I recognize that. And that's not always fun. I get it. But my mentality about it is like, oh, it's an open mic. I'm supposed to experiment. I'm supposed to see, I want to see what I can make funny that you wouldn't have expected I could do. And in order to get there, you gotta fail. You gotta fall on your face, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. Fine to fall on your face. It's whatever. It's life. But there's this feeling of like, I have the utmost respect for all of those dark faces I can't see in the audience when I'm Beltran. Your light is perfect. It blinds me every time. I have no idea what faces I'm seeing. But yeah, it's just a respect for the audience's attention. Is that like I want something up there that's you're gonna hear and feel like, well, you can tell I thought about it. If nothing else, if it wasn't funny, if it wasn't, it didn't leave making you feel like, oh, 2020 will get better. I know my shit doesn't. I know it doesn't. But that's kind of what I'm working towards. Like, right now, I have to be able to figure out how to just get the information out and feel comfortable on stage and feel that way. And then over time, I'm going to be able to tweak it and play with it in such a way that it is going to turn. It is going to be funny eventually, I promise. And one of the ways I'm actually doing that now is so this 17 minutes of hacky over emotional horseshit aside, now that I feel like I have an understanding of like how to comfortably be in discomfort, how to be on stage and talk about shit that like I don't think other comics are coming at least at that angle, and how to just kind of be me and be whatever my perspective is on things. Now I'm getting into the mundane and the silly and the funny and the imagination. That's what I'm working on now. So I did all this awkward, uncomfortable, heavy lifting that I'm sure I'm going to have to keep doing. Like, it's not over. So like, oh, he hit 29. He's been doing it 4 or 5 years. So he's got it now. No, not at all. I got many a year ahead of trying to figure out how to fucking do this in a way that is going to be consistent and funny and good. But now I'm leaning more into the silly and the mundane, talking about Aaliyah, talking about deaf people. I'm working on shit like that. And just stuff that is not big head ideas, big head movie ideas, as we would say on Night Guy and Baldy. And so I think that's going to be good. I think that it's going to be a much harder road, this fucking weird path that I've decided to. Is anybody hearing that? I'm fucking killing it with the cracking of the knuckles right now. Sounds like I'm about to fight a dude in an 80s movie. I don't know if I've been watching a lot of movies with Bryce for Film Favorites. Everybody check out Film Favorites. It's a great plug. It's the same day. It's the same day as this. When this shit comes out, when this comes out, Film Favorites will come out. So check that out. It's gonna be. I'm excited. I got to listen to the first episode, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to hear after like I don't know, not 50 movies, 25 movies. Yeah, I don't numbers. I don't do math, but it's an interesting podcast. I really think you should check it out, and you'll hear about movies you never thought of. You'll think about movies you haven't thought of in years, and you'll probably disagree with most of what we both say. But yeah, so I've been getting in the mundane, and I think that's it's going to be good. If anything, I think it's going to make. I think if what I'm picturing happens here, I think it's going to make my comedy more fun. It's going to make doing comedy a little easier, because right now it feels like, when like those Dragon Ball Z, like Piccolo has a weight on his head, that fucking alien turban that he's got going on, and he takes it, like, he's been fighting dudes while also balancing 30,000-pound teacups on his head, and he's still been fighting the way they fight, and then he takes that shit off, and he fucking, ooh, I don't know if you guys heard that, but he cracks his neck just like that, like a fucking badass. Little antennas come out, and the shit gets really crazy, and, people turn into ape creatures. Anime's weird, man. Anime's a fucking strange beast. But it feels like I've been kind of working at this from this angle of, like, add 1,000-pound, like, make this fucking impossible to make people laugh and just do your best. And so now I hope, I'm not gonna get cocky with it. I don't know how it's gonna come off, but I'm hoping that now that I've been doing that switching to lighter material will make it a little easier. And then once I build this lighter material while building this darker material, I can kind of jump back and forth. Like, I think one of the issues I've been running into, if I'm to compare my art form to movies and music the way I always do, is when you watch something that's dour, constantly dour, like fucking Bryce and I were just talking about this actually, for film favorites. Sneak peek. We were talking about The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. And when you watch The Revenant, there's not even a moment of levity that I can remember, other than watching Leo get seemingly raped by a bear. It was a very realistic looking bear, by the way. I saw that shit in theaters. It was crazy. But there's no sense of levity in a movie like that. Whereas another film that we watched recently that I don't want to spoil because it's a part of film favorites, we watched, and it was a really dour, dark film, but even in that movie, there was a sense of levity. There was a feeling of like, all right, here's a moment where you can just take a breath. And so now that's what I'm making. That's what I'm building now. Is let's see what happens now that I understand how to do dark shit. Like, I get it. I get how to go about it from that angle. I know how to dig deep. Now let's go to the more light and playful side of things, ideally. Sillier side, parts of me that most people don't seem to see or understand. And that's kind of where I'm at. This one was long. Oh yeah, I'm doing it week-long chunks. All right. Well, there you go. Wednesday, September 31st, 2020. All right, what do I got here? So, I decided I'm gonna start branching out now that I think I've mined meaning like a mine, like a coal miner, like a canary in the coal mine, not like mine, possessive mine. Fuck am I? Jesus Christ. Okay, that's right. So, I feel like I understand now how to keep an audience's attention. I understand how to be interesting, even when I'm not being funny. I understand the certain angles that I've taken in stand-up, and I think I've slowly been widening, slowly opening the floodgates, if you will. Like when I first started doing this, or doing comedy in general, I had a very narrow goal I was trying to achieve. My mentality was, all right, I just want an entire set about relationships. That was all that was in my head at the time. I couldn't, like, my mind was just kind of too scattered to talk about a bunch of different subjects. I wouldn't be able to remember what I was talking about. I'd be all over the place. And so I just kept it a very narrow berth. And then it expanded. The floodgates got opened a little more, and it was like, all right, well, relationships, mom shit, stuff like that, pain. Well, so fucking overdramatic. Pain and anguish. Can somebody give me some fucking black eyeliner, some black nail polish? Just black, just all black. God damn it. Only jerk off to cosplay porn. So fucking overdramatic. But yeah, the intention was, like, I want to talk about these are the particular subjects that are kind of on my mind all the time. But it expanded and it grew from there. And then it went from that to like wiping all the material in COVID, where I just didn't have any material. And then now it rebuilt itself, where all of the stuff that I was trying to do before, I did with a new perspective of how to write. So like when starting up again, I was like, all right, I'm widening it a little more. Now I'm using my imagination, and there's a little more visual concept when I'm writing, and it's a lot looser, especially because I'm writing most of this shit on the street for the most part. So there's like a looseness about it, which is nice. But the subject matter and the topics are still in that particular lane. And I think at this point, I've done that lane to death. Like I get every nook and cranny of that area, at least for now. And so now I'm shifting into topics that are just different, stuff that I don't normally talk about, and stuff that isn't inherently coming from this dour place. So I know how to do that now. And I'm still building that material. I'm still going to build the material for that dour shit. But I'm going to add a lot more levity now. I'm going to talk about stuff that's just a little sillier and express the silliness. So I just have, I don't know what you call it, like just premises. I got, if you still care how much you weigh, that's a healthy relationship. I have, I was rewatching Last Dance, and there's this baseball sequence. I talk about it on an episode about Last Dance. Is Michael Jordan maniacally making a speech holding a baseball bat just because he lost one game and a dude like kind of taunted him, and he looks like he's just in his head he's plotting to murder him. Not even like beat him in a game of basketball. Like NBA Finals is going on, and then when that dude goes to post up on him, MJ just takes out a knife. Like there's a little secret compartment in his own shoes, and he takes out a knife and he fucking stabs it in BJ's fucking jugular, and then walks off. Everyone stares in horror. It gets quiet. All you can hear are the fucking steps of Michael Jordan walking out of a shocked fucking stadium. All right. What am I talking about? Baseball model. Okay. Then I do childish shit because I can. Fuck you, adulthood. I have a sour candy bowl because I can. What the fuck am I saying? Oh, I have a bowl. I have a candy bowl, but I don't have like old lady candy in it. Nah, fuck that. I have. Let's see. I replenished it. I got fruit by the foot. Got Swedish fish, fruit roll-ups, Starbursts, and like a couple of M&Ms. All the Gushers are gone because the Gushers were the best. But I got a candy bowl. There you go. Well, you learned something about me. Okay, so I wrote, I say awful shit so I don't end up doing awful shit. Has anybody else here worked at a strip club? Or worked the day shift at a strip club? I don't know what the fuck I'm saying here. I have no idea what my point is. That just seems funny to me. I'm going to start doing stuff about Aaliyah. Here's some of it. I have a sassy dog. She walks like she's holding a purse with a smaller dog. This is Legally Blonde, but a dog. I'm not gonna dye her hair. I don't even wash her enough, let alone change her fucking hairstyle. Feminist. Stop wearing vagina hats and waving pink shit around. I think we need to take from a page from Christianity and start chopping heads if you really want to be taken seriously. I like that. I like that premise. I think it's still under that umbrella of the more, not heavier, that's just more like, lack of a better word, controversial takes. I don't know. Everything's controversial these days. But regardless, it has some levity to it. Then I'm becoming an old black man. I know I have like a voice I do with that. I don't have a premise there or not. I don't have anything to build off of that. I get stuck in thought loops. I don't know if I'm going to talk about that. This one I was going to connect to the fucking feminist joke. Or the what is it? Something about, oh yeah, it's a feminist. So I'm doing this whole bit about hometown buffet and how basically when you're taking your belief system, it's like hometown buffet, just take whatever the fuck you want. And I'm just trying to describe different perspectives of Christianity versus feminism, and the things on the plates or the things that you would take and the things that you would leave. And I had this whole bit about how, I'm a feminist, but I like choke girls when we have sex, fucking consensually. All right, none of this hullabaloo, none of this hoopla going around. All right, I'm consensually. God damn it. All right, I wrote, I sound angry when I come, like a Russian who just watched Rocky IV. I gotta work that out a little better. Give me a voodoo doll made of white girl dreadlocks. I already used that, and people seem to be digging that. Well, here's all my goddamn material. Great. You're not gonna be surprised by any of it. Well, nobody listens to this shit. If anybody's listening, can you, other than Johnny Gold and Nick Laney, what's up, guys? Thank you for coming out that one night. If you listen to the shit, you email thebuddysystemco@gmail.com. I haven't really said that in a while, because I really have no gauge for who's listening or whatever. I'm tired of fake woke people popping up. If you've ever said someone's not black enough and now all of a sudden you're saying Black Lives Matter, suck my dick. All right, well, it's not as much of a joke as it is me just being angry. But I do want to expand on all of that because it is annoying. Quarantine, way more spiritual. I can see how dudes go to prison, come out Muslim. Yeah, I gotta expand on that and play with it a little more, especially when I'm out on the street. Most of this stuff is like, it's not got legs to it, but like when I take it out on the street and I play with it more and get in that imagination more, I think it'll be good. I talk about race a lot because people haven't stopped talking to me about it since I was born. Yeah, there's something there too. That's all I have. So yeah, there's, I still do my pretentious stuff, but there's a lot more levity in this. So now I'm gonna start adding more levity and see what happens. If I'm gonna make a prediction, it's that it feels like, because I've gone at it from the most difficult possible angle, now that I'm taking at it from just an easier angle, and I have a little more time under my belt, I've been doing the fucking reps. I do it literally a 2-hour show all myself, just fucking around on the street. So I would imagine I've gotten better, and maybe that just doesn't, I don't know, it's not translating well enough into the open mics. So I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong there. I think part of it is just the limited of time. Like when I'm on the street, I have 2 hours, so I can just kind of, it's fine. People are very understanding of like, "Oh, this isn't joke. They get the vibe that I'm just kind of talking. So I gotta match the speed of jokes there. So I gotta do that. But no, I think I'd imagine that once I start implementing this more, it's going to make my stand-up kind of jump up a bit. Like every now and again, you skip a couple rungs in the ladder. It feels like you feel like you took a big leap. And hopefully this is one of those. What is it? Wednesday. So a couple more days until film favorites. I'm still excited. I hope you guys check it out. Thursday, October 1st, 2020. This one's probably going to be short, but I just finished doing the mic at Placitas and then running the first Buddy System open mic since COVID, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I bombed both sets, but it was a lot of fun. And you know what? I gotta say, I missed this comedy community. Like, I missed the feeling of these guys. I missed seeing them. It was really nice. And everyone's kind of toughened up a bit. It's interesting. Like, the mic, especially at, not so much at Placitas, though I feel like that's going to be changing soon. The mic tonight felt way more aggressive. People were taking shots at each other. Everyone was a lot snappier. It was quicker. It was cool. It was really nice, actually. It was fun. So, you know, I think running like a reasonable amount of shows will make me much happier and less angry and frustrated and depressed and exhausted and all those other negative adjectives. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great. I don't know, I guess I'm just looking forward to doing more. So yeah.